Good morning everybody, my name is Shelby and welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, we do lots of different homesteading, gardening, cooking, farm to table recipes, you name it. Today I'm going to talk about the expansions that we're doing on our garden. We're expanding it significantly and we're doing that by incorporating like a no-till, no-dig garden. I've been doing a lot of research on it. We've been kind of practicing this method by doing a deep mulch in the garden already, and that has worked out really wonderfully. The awesome part about doing like a no-till, no-dig garden is that every year that you do this, the garden gets richer and healthier and less maintenance. So the first thing that we're doing to prepare the spring garden is top off all of our raised beds. Every year raised beds kind of the soil will go down a few inches and they kind of need to be topped off usually. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do, and that definitely happened to us this year. What happened last year is that we used some compost that had a lot of weeds in it. I've never experienced having so many weeds in our raised garden beds before, and you know, that's one of the awesome parts about doing raised bed gardening is that it kind of limits the amount of weeds that you have to manage. So all of our beds were just super infiltrated with weeds, and what we decided to do was put a layer of cardboard down before getting this new compost that's really excellent and putting that on top to kind of suffocate the old weeds and then put better stuff on top. The whole thing with like no-till and no-dig is that you don't want to disturb those weed seeds that could potentially be in there. You don't want to bring them to light, so it's best not to dig it out and start disturbing the soil. So that's why we're going to put a layer of cardboard down and then cover it with the better quality stuff. So behind me you might be able to see this large pile of mushroom compost. This year we decided that we were going to spend a little bit of extra money to get the best quality product. We've used this mushroom compost many times in the past from this facility that grows mushrooms commercially. What happened was they used to actually sell it for like $10 a truckload, and it was amazing and so affordable. We would always use it in our garden. Then they changed it so that only vendors could pick it up and you have to buy it from vendors, and it was like a lot more expensive. That's why for a few years I was buying compost from other people and experimenting with other things for cheaper options. But after kind of looking at old gardens that I had and seeing how amazing the results are with mushroom compost, I decided this year, you know, we're gonna go ahead and order a bulk amount of mushroom compost. It's 20 cubic yards, so it's a lot of soil or compost, and we're gonna use that in the garden. It's super thick, really high in nutrients, the best stuff I've ever used. Even with it being a little bit pricier because we're buying, you know, 20 cubic yards in bulk, it's still more than a third of the price cheaper than if I was to get individual bags of soil or compost from one of those big box stores. Basically, there's a lot of people who make compost and will deliver it to your house. I would just check out like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, or you can actually go to some people's farms and they'll load up like cow manure or horse manure in your truck and you can start to make your own compost. So that's a really good option for spring. I'm just going to do a quick cauliflower appreciation. I almost don't want to harvest them because they're so beautiful, but I grew them, we have to harvest them, and we have to eat them. I want to do like a whole roasted cauliflower head or something like that, and they're definitely ready to be harvested. Look at these beautiful, huge cauliflower heads. I'm pulling the majority of like the top of the weeds first in this bed because there's a lot. It's not too bad as far as like the amount of weeds in here, but I'm just pulling them. I'm gonna pile them up, you know, throw the weeds away and try not to disturb the soil. I'm not gonna like till it afterwards to disturb the soil or anything like that. We're just going to cover it with the cardboard and then cover it with the mushroom compost to hopefully suffocate the weeds that were down here before and create a whole around healthier raised garden bed, because we have the cattle panel trellises in this bed to have like tomatoes and things like that growing up the side. What we're doing right here is actually where we're doing the no-till, no-dig garden. It's directly in the ground. Typically what you would want to do is start out with like a layer of cardboard directly on the grass or wherever you're picking your garden location, and then put a deep layer of mulch on top of that. So for us, we utilize chip drop, and that's a service that will drop off like a cubic ton of mulch in your local area when they chop down a tree, like an arborist, as opposed to having to go all the way to wherever they dump their like a tree that they've taken down and mulched. So we've used this service many times, and what we did is we spread out all of this mulch. Actually, our neighbor came by with his tractor and he spread it out, which was such a big help to us because this would have been a lot of work. It goes all the way around the front. But what you would want to do is put cardboard down first and then do at least like about 5 inches or so of mulch on top of that. And then what we're doing is we're doing another layer of cardboard on top of the mulch and then the mushroom compost on top of that. So it's kind of like a lasagna style. It's really layered, and eventually over time you're creating this no dig, no till garden. You're not disturbing the natural all the natural organisms in the soil, and you're also not disturbing the weeds, so it's going to minimize the amount of weeding that you have to do. The key part is really utilizing cardboard. Go on Facebook Marketplace, see if anybody's giving that away for free, see if like your local Walmart or Target or anything like that is giving away their cardboard. And also you can buy huge rolls of cardboard on Amazon too. So that's probably what we're going to end up doing for the rest of the garden, is get like just one of those rolls, because we can't collect cardboard fast enough with the amount that we actually need to use it. So I'm probably going to actually just end up doing that. And year after year it becomes a healthier, richer soil, and it turns into like this black gold soil. It's a really, really great garden after years and years of working on it. Row 1 is done. It's going to take us like a day or two, or we're not going to get it all done today, that's for sure, because we had been topping off the other beds. So definitely time to rest a little bit. We're not machines. But eventually over the next like 2 weeks we're going to have all of the rows done. My goal is to have 2 more on this side, 2 more long rows. I don't even know how long this is. It's probably at least, I don't know, like 30 feet long. I have to measure it out. And then on this side we're going to do like a bunch of short rows. So I'm really pleased with how it looks so far. But that is basically it for today. We have a lot of work ahead of us. I will definitely be keeping you guys updated. The next video is probably going to be showing you guys how most of this is done, hopefully. Fingers crossed, because I want to get this done before the baby gets here. I need to plant all the things that I've started, all the seeds and tons of tomato plants that I've started and tons of pepper plants I've started. I need to get those in the ground. That's going to be one of the next videos, is kind of showing you where I'm planting everything too. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye.